I want to say before you get to see the next part of this video, there's a link down in the description for a playlist of my good old friend Matt the Scrap Whisperer building a screen house for gardening, or for his wife to do her flower potting, and it's all built with scrap metal. It's amazing. You need to go watch it. I'm shocked and disappointed that playlist, each one of those videos, does not have thousands and thousands of views on each video, because it's just amazing craftsmanship what he does and builds. Not just that, but everything he does, except for the paint drying videos. Those we could live without. Anyway, enjoy this video, but at the end of it, click that link in the description. Go check out Matt's screen thing that he built. Screen house is what it's called. Hey guys, we are back again. I'm at the garden. As you know from the last video, this row and this row is the sweet corn. Now this garden is approximately about 50 foot by 50 foot, and it's going to be full. And a lot of people are like, oh man, that's way too big. No, not the way I do it. I like wide aisles. But for anybody that wants to know, when you plant corn, people do it differently. Some people do one seed every 8 to 12 inches. Some people do 2. Some people do 3. I like to do 3 seeds every 12 inches. And my terminology for that is 1 for the crow, 1 for the family, 1 for the neighbor. And it always works out. But everybody's different. You can do it how you want. But if you keep it 8 to 12 inches each seed, or each 3 seeds, you're going to be fine, and you'll have perfect spacing, and your corn will most likely do good if you're in good soft soil that's not real rocky. This has had some little small rocks, but as I go, I pick them out and make piles, which I got a pile right there I got to get picked up. But this has never been gardened before. This has always been part of my yard. But because I know the grass grows well here, I know it's good soil. But anyway, today, with one hand, I drove metal T-stakes into the ground using a 4-pound hammer and a ladder, and I got them pretty close down through there. But what's going to happen next is I ordered 5 foot by 100 foot horse fencing that you would see to corral horses into a certain area of the stables or whatever, which is perfect for growing your green bean vines up the fencing versus the vine going all over the ground and having a mess and not very many healthy green beans because they're laying on the ground rotten. So I got this first row planted. The cheapest place, the cheapest place to buy that fencing by the 100-foot row was Home Depot, and that's if you order it. It was just under $71 for a 100-foot row, versus everywhere else they wanted 120 plus, and they had it in stock. I'm like, screw that, I can wait. But the next row, which is where this stake is, will be another row of white half runner green beans. And then this stake represents the row of fencing that will be installed for the cucumbers. And all I never do the cucumbers that you see in salad. I always do the pickling cucumbers because I pickle them, plus they're delicious. But next thing, oh yeah, and by the way, when you plant your green bean seed, you want to take your hoe and make a really wide farrow or trench, whatever you want to call it. My papa always called them farrows. Make a good wide farrow in between each T-stake section. Put your seeds into a container and just walk along the trench or the ferrule and just shake them out almost like a salt shaker in a nice even pattern all the way down through there, and then cover it up. This 50-foot section took 1/4 pound. The next one will take another 1/4 pound, which is exactly what I have left. This is working out actually, the way I bought stuff. And then on the seeds for the cucumber, the exact same process. Make a nice wide ferrule or trench to the entire length, and then put your seeds into a container and just walk and shake them out like a salt shaker in a nice even pattern, and then go back with your hoe and cover them up. Then the next row, which is going to be way down here, I like this because it's already got there's a hump where the tiller made all the way down through there, which is perfect because this is where my onion sets are going to go. And when you do onion sets, you want to do those in the spring, which we're still in the spring months. And you just push them into the ground. You don't do a ferrule or a trench. You just push them into the ground with the stem part of the onion sticking straight up, and leave that stem part just barely sticking out of the ground. And you're going to get good onions, green onions, for that, or doing it that way. And then on your tomato plants and any other plants, you go through with post hole diggers or a shovel, whichever. Dig down about 6 to 8 inches into the ground, make a hole, set your plant in, pour about 1/2 gallon of mixed Miracle-Gro into each hole, bury it up, go back in a week, pull the dirt back a little bit, pour some more Miracle-Gro on, cover it back up again. You'll never have to touch them again the rest of the year. Perfect. And then out here in this whole section is going to be a complete row of potatoes. I love potatoes. However, I got to get my banana peppers, red peppers, yellow peppers, whatever. And I think right here, next to where the onion sets are going to be, is going to be that row. After that, I've got quite a bit of real estate here that has not been used up. And that is where the multicolored serendipity type corn, as they call it, is going to go. About 3 to 4 rows of that. I love corn. Right now, with those 2 rows and that little short row over there beyond my plants, we figured it up. I'm gonna come out with about 3, if they all grow properly, I'll come out with about 360 ears of corn, just from these 2 full rows and that partial about 1/4 row over there. That's a lot of corn, but here's my thinking. The campgrounds is right down the road here. We constantly have campers coming up and down this road heading to the campgrounds from other states. I'm gonna put a sign up out front, fresh vegetables, because they always have to stop because they can't get under that bridge down there, and they have to figure out how to turn around to get back to the main road. And while they're figuring that out, they can come over here and get some vegetables. So it's going to work out. I'll make a few bucks and be able to feed the family and the neighbors and probably the church. But anyway, guys, thanks for following along on this garden adventure. I was figuring it up last night. The last time I grew a garden was 2018. I was still living in Kentucky, and that was the last year I grew a garden. Then I moved to Ohio in March of 2019, and I've been here at this property ever since. And I've always said I'm going to put a garden out. I'm going to put a garden out. I'm going to put a garden out. And I finally did it. Pulled the trigger this year. One thing I have noticed, my health from 2018 to 2026 is definitely not what it was then, because normally like 2018 and beyond, before that, from 2002 to 2018, when I was growing a garden every year, I'd have it all done in one day. This is taking weeks. So anyway, we're still in the spring months or weeks. I think the first day of summer is June 22nd, so we got time. A lot of this stuff that's going in the ground is a good time to do it is in the spring, because like that corn over there and the other row over there, 82 days to maturity, and so that's going to put me up into July for that. On this Serendipity multicolored corn is 76 days, I think. That's what's written on the package. So it's gonna kind of even out. They'll both get done around the same time as far as being mature. So perfect. All right, this thing is going 10 minutes now, and my seats are empty. I need to plant my bud in one of them. Okay, bye.